Hey there friends, it's Cassie with Trinity Stamps. Thanks for coming back for another video. Today we are celebrating the awesome new colors that Inkon3 is releasing, and y'all know that Trinity Stamps loves Inkon3. This video is a part of a playlist, so I'll have the link to the next video in the description box down below, along with all of the video hop details. Let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to be making. For my card, I'm going to be using the brand new We Wish You a Merry Christmas die. Love this die. It's just beautiful, very scripty. We're also going to be using the layered Snowfall stencil. Just would go perfectly with that, along with the brand new Inkon3 colors. So we have the Sweet Petunia Pink, we have Trinity Teal, and Shark Tooth White. Are those not beautiful? And I'll tell you what, after playing with these, I didn't own any Inkon3 before, but I bought the rest of them from the Trinity store because these are fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and get into our card. So what I'm going to do is I have some white cardstock. This is just some Nina 80-pound white cardstock. And I have cut that down to 4 inches by 5.5 inches. And I'm going to use one of my blender buddies along with that Trinity Teal. Love the name of that. And I'm going to blend this color all over my background. So I'm trying to keep it a little bit lighter in the center, and I'm just blending that color into it, and they blend beautifully. The blender buddies help, but the color is just, oh, it's splendid, I'll just tell you. And I love, at least what I've learned since this is my first time using these inks, I love how they can layer on top of each other and you can make them darker as needed. You can't always do that with some colors or some brands of inks, but this one you definitely can. So I started off light and then just started increasing the darkness of the color. And I love how I've got that light color in the center. But like I said, these just blended so beautifully. All right, now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and heat set this because I wasn't sure, because I want to do some embossing on the background, but I don't know that this was even that necessary. So what I did is I just heat set it. It seemed pretty dry, and then all I'm going to do is take some of my white embossing powder and see if that sticks, and it didn't, so we're on the right track. I'm going to take a little bit of purple tape to tack down my background. I'll put a little bit of magic powder bag over the top of that because like I said, I want to do some embossing and I don't want the powder to stick to any areas where it doesn't need to. And then I'll grab my white blender buddy and I'm going to blend the Shark Tooth white right onto that background. It is a very vibrant white, which is great, and it shows up really nicely on this background. So I've just blended that through that layered Snowfall stencil. This is the first stencil that I'm using, and then I'll peel this back and I'm going to cover that with my white detail embossing powder. So I'll just cover that up, and I don't have any issues with stray powder sticking anywhere. So I thought that was really nice about this ink. It dried very quickly and no issues. So then I'll heat set my powder until that is smooth and melted, which doesn't take too long. And then I'll clean up my glass mat and I'm going to stick down my paper again, and I'll grab the second of the 2 layered stencils. I'll just put that over the top. I love that this just gives it this kind of almost organic snowfall background. Since they're not perfect circles, they just look like snowfall. And all I'm going to do with this part is lightly put on that Shark Tooth white. So I'm just blending that around. I want it to be nice and subtle because I wanted this to look like it was pretty layered, which is why I embossed the first layer. So then I'll peel that back and you can see it's super light on that background and it just looks like there's snow falling in all depths, and I love that. So we'll set that off to the side. Now I have some more of that Nina cardstock that I have trimmed down to fit inside of my 3-inch sticker maker. This is a Xyron sticker maker. I have just found that with detailed dies like this one that's kind of scripty, my best way of doing this, which you don't have to do it this way, but this is just kind of the way I enjoy, is to use sticker paper. It gives me a little bit of wiggle room and then I don't have to mess with glue. So I just did a few sheets of this so that I could cut this through 3 times. So that's kind of what I want to do. And that die can be cut apart, so I did cut it apart. And then I'll just tack all those pieces down and I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine. So we've got a star, we've got all the words. I did manage to keep the little dots for the words Christmas and wish, but it's great. You and Mary are stuck together by the U, or the Y and the M. But I'll tell you, I am going to keep a couple of the negative parts of the word, and there's a reason for that. So I cut that out 3 times. Like I said, here's the 3rd time just running that through my die cutting machine. Didn't take super long. you do want to be a little bit careful when you're separating your words from your negative pieces, just so that you don't tear anything. But because like I said, this is 80-pound cardstock that I'm using. And then I put all of my 3 stars together and just burnished those in, just peeling off that release paper from the sticker paper. Because like I said, I went ahead and did all these on sticker paper. And then I'll just peel off the release paper for Wish. Sorry, I'm kind of off screen. But just sticking those down on top of each other. The nice thing about the sticker paper is that it gives you a little bit of wiggle room so that you don't have to, it won't adhere right away. It eventually will, and it'll be permanent, but you've got a little bit of time before that will happen. So you can just peel off the release paper and kind of manipulate the word how you need it. And then I'm going to put the bigger ones like You and Mary and Christmas, I'm going to layer those on top of each other just using the negative. This just helps it to keep its form. It makes it a little easier to adhere down the words. So there's our second layer, and then we'll eventually put in our third layer. You could make these as thick as you wanted, or you wouldn't even have to do it as many times as you did. I just wanted it to be raised up off of the background paper a little bit. So peeling off that release paper and sticking down our third layer on top of You and Mary. And then I'll do Christmas as well. And so I did all those, and now we're going to start with some ink blending. So this is that beautiful Sweet Petunia pink, and it is vibrant and gorgeous. And I'm going to try and do ombre on each of the words. So I'm getting really dark at the bottom and then just kind of blending that up on each of the words. So as you can tell, Christmas is dark at the bottom, very ombre. And then I can peel out the word Christmas. Like I said, that's 3 layers. So it's got this little chipboard feel to it almost. And I'll set that off on my background, and I'm loving how the teal and the pink all just go together. So we'll do the same ombre effect with You and Mary, which is not difficult, simply because it's not that it's difficult, it's just I have to pay attention to how I'm doing that because You and Mary are connected. So I'm trying to just brush some of the darker color on the bottom of You. And then that was easy enough. I'll pull that out. And then we do the same thing with the letter A, and I could just watch this or do this all day. It's just so fun, and I can't get over how vibrant and gorgeous that pink is. So again, just working our way up the line of the words. Super fun. And you could do these with all different kinds of colors. But like I said, after I got these colors, I went ahead and purchased the rest. I couldn't help it. All right, that final piece at the bottom, that's kind of our trunk of the tree. I'm going to bring in the Trinity Teal again. And yes, I know the background is Trinity Teal, but this will show you just how dark and vibrant you can make that color. So I made that super dark, and it will stand out beautifully against that background. I'm going to leave the star white though. All right, so I did keep one more of the negatives, and this I find is actually kind of vital because this will ensure that you'll get your letters on there properly. So I'm just kind of gauging where I want the star to go. I'll peel off the release paper on the star, and then I'll stick that down, and then I'll put the We Wish You a Merry Christmas underneath it, and that's where the negative comes in. Makes it super easy to attach down each of the words and make sure that they aren't stretched out and that the whole phrase will fit on there perfectly. So just peeling off the release paper on each of the words. And I did save the little tittles for the eyes. And then you can just kind of peel that away very, very carefully, just making sure that you don't pull up your words. But yeah, it fits in there perfectly. And then we'll get our last couple letters in there, our last couple words. And then you can, like I said, very carefully peel away the negative. And there you have it. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Now I'll just dot a little bit of glue. I only used 1 layer of the eye, or the tittle for the eye, just because otherwise it's too much of a pain. It's a bit of a headache. So, and then I even colored those up just using the residual from my Blender Buddy to make those a little bit pink. All right, so now we need to get our base ready, which is just some more of that Neenah cardstock. And yeah, it's a lightweight cardstock. You might want to do something a little bit heavier, but I just scored that at 4¼ inches. And so this is a side folding A2 size card, and then I'll just take some liquid glue and adhere my card panel down to my card base. It leaves a nice little white border on the left and right hand side. And as a final bit of embellishment with that, I do decide to bring in some White Blizzard Nuvo drops. So these are basically clear, but they have a glittery finish to them. And so I'm going to trace over all the letters and the star and the trunk, and when it dries, it's going to be a nice, beautiful, clear, glittery gorgeousness, I'm telling you. And while that stands up or stands off of that background pretty nicely, adding the White Blizzard drops to each of the letters just really makes it pop. And so I just love the end result. And so once I'm done with that, that's actually going to finish off our card for today. I love these brand new colors, and everything I used will be linked in the description box down below, along with the brand new colors. If you liked this video, please hit that like button and subscribe if you have not already done so. And as always, I will see you very soon in another video. Bye, everybody.